Hello, Starshine. My name is Liz, and this is my channel, Simsational Stories. If you have not seen my videos before and you enjoy this one, please like and subscribe. And maybe check out my Facebook page, where this whole thing began, as well. All relevant links are in the description below, and of course, if you're a Sims player and you'd like to download any of the characters featured in my stories, just search the hashtag Simsational Stories on the Sims 4 gallery. All original content is created by This Is Not Eric. Alrighty then. So, welcome. And what is up, Buttercup? Are you having a good day or a bad day? Whichever your answer, please allow me to distract you from your life and tell you a story, a Simsational story. Before I begin though, I'd like to issue this blanket content and trigger warning. The following story is just Sims, hey. I'm not going to apologise for treating them terribly, if that's what I've done. But I do want to assure you now that although I mean absolutely no harm, I completely understand if you feel unable to consume my content. Many loves, and we will catch each other on the internet elsewhere. Okay, so now we've gotten that over with, let's go. Today's story is from Audre Whitman, The Audacious Maid, and we're at chapter 1. All subsequent chapters will be put into a playlist on my channel where you can hear the entire story in chronological order. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Audre. Born and raised in Evergreen Harbour, Audre Whitman is 19 years young and filled with hope and confidence about her future. She is an outgoing, confident and vivacious kind of a person with a dream of finding her true love and building a life with him. She had been an only child and her parents had been wonderful until their sudden death in a car accident 3 years before. Although she was able to purchase a small apartment with her parents' life insurance payout, Audre still got a job as a maid after she graduated high school. She didn't have enough money left after the apartment to not work anyway, even if that had have been in her nature, which it wasn't. Audre had a strong work ethic which resulted in a quick promotion to a coveted position, cleaning celebrities' homes in Del Sol Valley. It was in Del Sol Valley that Audre met handsome military man Anton Lewis. He was her employer, and a favourite one at that. He was Audrey's guilty little pleasure. She used to like to perv on him from afar, and he actually took her by surprise the day he introduced himself to her. She had thought he was at work, and had just been getting on with her own job when she heard a noise from behind her, and spun around to see Anton's cheerful face smiling down at her. Anton Lewis had just moved to Del Sol Valley, and he was new to having a maid. He was very cute, with striking green eyes, thick, strong muscles, and a healthy tan. Audre could feel herself blushing. Surely it was obvious that she was attracted to him. It was, and Anton was flattered. He was actually married, but that didn't necessarily have much of an impact on his likelihood to hit on Audre. For Anton had cheated before. It had only been a few months ago, actually. He had been having an affair with his next-door neighbour, Kellyanne Calthus, and they had been caught by his wife. Anton's wife, Anastasia, had somehow forgiven him, and because she was an aspiring actress, they had decided to move to Del Sol Valley for a fresh start. He had heard since moving that Kellyanne was now pregnant, and he knew he might be the father. But he'd decided not to find out, and he hadn't told his wife about the baby rumour either. Not that Anton told Audre any of this, of course. That could put a dampener on things, and what did it matter anyhow? San Myshono was all behind him, and Audre was in his future. At least, he hoped she was. He made excuses to be home from work more often because of her, and he would talk to her as she pretended to find things to clean, so their time together wouldn't end too quickly. Anton's wife, Anastasia, had no idea what was going on. She was preoccupied with her career, always scheduling auditions and commercials. And besides, she was the one who had been cheated on. She wasn't about to chase him up when Anton needed to make it up to her. And as far as she could tell, things were no different in Del Sol Valley than they had been in San Myshono. Anton was still always working and she was still always alone. The only thing they didn't have going on was his affair with the next-door neighbour. At least Anastasia had her acting. She was a gifted and talented orator who could take a basic concept and deliver an in-depth character within minutes. She seemed to not just connect with who she was playing, but really become them. And now that she was in Del Sol Valley, she was finally getting some recognition and success for all of her years of dedication and hard work. She had gone from a nobody to a D-list celebrity within 3 months of moving to Del Sol Valley. Meanwhile, Anton was left home alone a lot more than he was used to, and more than he liked. He had never really liked or supported Anna's career. He thought acting was stupid. It had been all right back in the city when she hadn't been doing much, but here in Star City, suddenly all that had changed. It had gone from 1 audition a week to 3 a day. Anton wanted a wife, not a wife with a life. It was this situation that pushed things to a head with Audrey. It was the first week of winter, and Anton was home for the day from work, while Anna had disappeared to film some sitcom guest appearance or another. Once again, Audrey was in the kitchen and heard a noise behind her, and spun around to find Anton smiling down at her again. She had beautiful brown eyes, he told her, and he asked her if she had a boyfriend. Audrey had had a boyfriend before, but they had broken up after high school, and she'd been single for over a year now. Her first boyfriend had been her own age, and they'd done things. But it had always been rather awkward, and not much fun for Audrey. Anton was just in his 30s, and although he was still a rather selfish lover, he was easily better than an 18-year-old boy. Audrey felt like she was finally getting the full experience. She was not proud of getting into bed with a married man, but she justified it to herself, telling herself that she had not been the one to start it, and if he was really happy, he wouldn't have done it. Anastasia was always out acting. Audrey had worked there for months and still hadn't met her. The woman was a stranger, and Audrey owed her nothing. Besides, what she and Anton had was special. Audrey knew she wasn't the first or the only one in his life, but she believed him when he looked her in the eyes and promised that she had awoken his heart in a way nobody else ever had before. She felt the same way about him. Their love may have been forbidden, but that didn't mean they were wrong for following their hearts. It would all work out somehow. Audrey was sure of it. They had been dating in secret now for over 6 months. Audrey would often go to visit Anton at work, and everyone on base knew her as his missus. That alone made her feel more secure. Surely he wouldn't tell all his co-workers about her if he didn't mean to make things official between them soon. And that brings us to the end of Chapter 1 of Audre Whitman, The Audacious Maid. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can tune in soon to hear the next chapter. Or like I said, look us up on Facebook. Bye!